What is a data type? What are the different data types in JavaScript? How to know data type of a variable in JavaScript? I will be talking about all of this in this video. I am Akash, you're watching Mr. About Tech, and without any further ado, let's get started. So what is a data type? A data type is a thing which tells the compiler or interpreter about the type of data stored in a variable and what kind of operations are possible on it. For example, we have a number 10 and a string which is written by double inverted commas. So we have a string 2 and a number 10. Now, is it possible here to divide them? No, right? Because 10 is a number and 2 is a string type of data. This we already know about, but how did the computer know about this? So this is because of the data types. In languages like C and C++, we have to specify the type of variable while creating it like this. So integer is equal to 1. But in JavaScript, we don't have to specify the data type of a variable while creating it, as JavaScript is a dynamic typed language. So the data type is assigned automatically at the runtime based on the value stored in it. And so we can create a variable like this: let box is equal to books. So what are the different data types in JavaScript? So these are all the different data types in JavaScript: string, number, Boolean, undefined, null, big int, symbol, object. So these are all the different data types in JavaScript. So now we will talk about all of these one by one. So let's start with the string data type. Now, as you have seen earlier, that we can create a variable with double inverted commas by writing anything inside the double inverted commas. It is a string. Alright. Now we can also create a variable with single inverted commas. So there is double inverted commas, then there is single inverted commas, and there is one third way as well, and that is using backtick. Now just see this carefully and don't misunderstand it with this single inverted comma. This is a backtick and this one is a single inverted comma. So these are all the different three ways that we can create a string type of a variable. And if we just print the value out, and first we have to comment these. So using the backtick also, we are getting the same as we would get with a single inverted comma or with a double inverted comma. Alright, but now this backtick has some other special type of features that I'm going to talk about. So the first one is we can write any string in multiple lines using this backtick. So let's take this one. I'm just going to comment this and write this. So as you can see here, it has multiple lines, right? So even if it has multiple lines, it doesn't matter. This backtick will consider everything that comes under this start and end of the backtick as the string, and it is going to just output it, as you can see here on the console window. So this is how you can even write anything that is in multiple lines. Now if you try to write it in single inverted commas, then it is going to show an error that this is not valid and you just can't write this using a single inverted comma or a double inverted comma for that matter. You can't even use this one as well. So you have to use the backtick if you want to write any string that is of multiple lines. Alright. Okay, so now there is one other thing that you can do, and it is very useful. It is going to be really useful for you, and that is you can directly pass variables into your string. So you can directly pass variables and expressions within the backticks, and it is going to evaluate the expressions, and it is going to just store it in the variable right there. I'll comment this out And okay, now here I have two numbers, num1 and num2, and here I have one another variable where I am storing the sum of this. So I have this string sum equal to, and then I have this expression. Now what is this expression? So this is called as a placeholder. So it has a dollar sign and two curly brackets, and within these two curly brackets we have to write any expression or a variable or whatever we want to be displayed as a string. So we can write it here. Now here what I've done is I have added the num1 and num2, and it is going to evaluate this and it is going to replace this with the answer, and that is going to be 15, and the sum equal to 15 is what going to be printed on our console. So let's see. So now here, as you can see, it is printed sum equal to 15. So this is how this placeholder works. This is how you can use it to evaluate any expression or to write any variable name. So let's do that as well. Now here I'm going to take a variable with my name, and I'm going to specify another variable greet, and I have just passed straight away this variable here, and I want this to print hello Akash. So let's console.log this and let's see. So as you can see in the output screen that it is printing hello Akash. So this is how you can also pass the variables, and this is how you can pass expressions inside this placeholder. Now I told you that this is a string, but how would you cross check me that this is a string and I'm saying what I'm saying? Like, you cannot blindly trust on me, right? Or maybe you can, I don't know, it's your choice. But still, if you want to check that this is a string, the type of it is a string, that this is a string and this is string, so how you can do that is, there is a simple operator, that is type of operator, that the JavaScript provides, with which you can see the type of that variable. So let's write type of, simple as that. Okay, now as you can see, the output has now changed to string. Now let me do this. I'll just copy it and I'll keep the older output as it is. I'll paste it here and below here, and I'll change this to sum. And okay, now here as you can see, this is the original output, this is the type of it. So this is the type of the sum variable, and this is the next second output, and this is the type of that variable, which is greet. So this variable has this type. All right, if I change it to my name, then it is going to show string as well. So this is again still string. So these are all the different types that you can create a string type of variable in JavaScript. Now one more thing that I want to tell you, that what we did here, these are called template literals in JavaScript. Now the next one is the number type. So number type are really simple. You just have to specify the number without any kind of quotations, no single quote, no double quote or the backtick, nothing, just straight away the number, and that is how you can create a number type of variable. Now let's output this, and as you can see, this is the output, and let's also check the type of this. So here as you can see, wow, why is it undefined? Okay, now it's all right. So this is number. So this is how you can have a number variable. This is how you can create a number variable in JavaScript, and you can also have a decimal type of numbers as well. So I'll take another number, and I'll have the output of this as well, and you can see the output of this, and let's also have the type of this. So yeah, so this is how you can create number type of variables in JavaScript. Now the next one is Boolean type. So Boolean type is a type which has just two values. One is true, the second one is false. Now you get these kind of values or this kind of output when you do some kind of comparisons. So if you use the comparison operator, that is the double equal to operator, so it is a comparison operator, and if you use it, then whatever the evaluation is, it is going to give us the output in Boolean, that means in true or false. So for that we are going to have here two variables, and I have this double equal to, that is the comparison operator here to compare the values of these two variables. Now as you can see, the values of these two variables are same, that is 10. So the output here is going to be true. So let's see the output, and here as you can see the value is true. So now let's even check the type of this. So here as you can see the type is Boolean. Alright, so let's even change this and make them unequal, and as you can see it now says false. So this was the Boolean type. Now the next one is undefined. So as you can see, before we created the variables like this, so we had this equal to sign, that is the assignment operator used to store this value in a variable. Alright, now what if we create a variable without any value? So like this. So here I have this variable first name created, but I don't have any value stored in this one. Alright, so what do you think is going to be the output for if we console log this one? So here as you can see the output is undefined. Now let's check the type of this as well. So here as you can see the type also is undefined. Interesting, right? So this is the undefined type. Now if you don't have anything in this variable, it is assigned undefined, and the type of it is also undefined. It's just that the variable is created but nothing is assigned in it. Now the next one is null. So null just simply means nothing or empty. Now I have this variable created with the value as null. So if I console log this, then I will get null as the value, of course, because I have assigned it. So what do you think I will get as the type here for this variable? So as you can see the type is object. So here we should have gotten null as the type as well, right? Just as we got undefined for this one, but we are getting an object here, right? So in JavaScript the type of null is object, and they've kept it like that. I don't know why. So we assign this null to a variable if we don't want it to be undefined. So that is all about null. Now the next one is big int. So we saw number, right? So we can have number type of variables created as well, but number has some limitation. So with the number type we can have values that are as large as 2 raised to 53 minus 1. So let me show you. Here is the calculator. So we can have 2 raised to 53 minus 1. So this is the largest number that we can have using the number type of variable, and anything larger than this is not going to work with the number type of variable. So this is a pretty large number as you can see, but if you are in a certain situation where you have to work with even larger numbers, then you have to use the big int type. Now I have taken that same number that we just saw and I'm console logging this. So as you can see, this is the output that we get here. But what if I add 2 more digits here? Now as you can see the output after this 9 1, it should show 2 and 3, but it is showing double zeros. So it is not properly showing the output that we want. So this is the number type of variable. So to make this number of begin type, we just have to specify a small n here, and it is going to make it a begin type of variable. And as you can see here, this is now working totally fine. It is showing the numbers properly, and if we see the type of this variable, then it is going to show begin, and as you can see here that it is showing us the type as begin. If we take this n out, then it is going to show the type as number. So this is how you can create a begin type of variable, and this is how you can use these large numbers. Now the next one is symbols. Now symbols are unique type of immutable data. That means that once they are created, then it's unique and they cannot be changed. So here, for example, I have this variables. So here name1 and name2 is there, and this is how you can create symbol type of variables. So we have this symbol word, and then we have these circle brackets, and within that we have to write the data. So I have written the same type of data here for these two symbols. Alright, now what I'm doing is I'm using this comparison operator and I'm comparing these two variables. So what do you think is going to be the output here? It should be true, right? So let's see, and as you can see here that the output is false. So this is what symbol is. So once you create it, it is unique throughout. So if you have this symbol assigned for this one and the same one assigned to this, then these two symbols are totally different to each other. So which is why we are getting a false as the Boolean value for this comparison of these two symbols. Now what if we want to display the value of these symbols? So if we write this like this one, so we just are console logging the variable. So as you can see here, we are just straight away getting the whole thing that is stored in the variable. We are not getting just Akash written here on this console output. So how we can get that? So for that, what we have to do is we just have to specify a dot and the description word as I have specified here after this name of the variable, and that is how we can output the data on the console screen. Alright, now at the end, let's also check the type of this. So as you can see, the type is symbol. That is what we expected. So this was the symbol type of variable. Now the final one is object, and this is the most important one. So what is this object? So object type of variables are that which allows us to store collection of different types of data. So here I have this object created. So this is how we created. We have the let keyword, then the name of the object equal to sign and curly bracket. So this is starting here and ending here, and as you can see here, we have three different types of data in this single object. So these two are strings, this is a number, this is a boolean. Now we just console log this. So here is the output. As you can see, it is showing all of this. If we click on this sign, so it is going to show all of this in this form as well. So we have age, we have bull, we have the first name, last name, all of it. So this is the object, and let's also see the type of this. So I'm going to write it as this, and as you can see, it is showing the type as object, right? So this is the object type of variable, and as you saw, we can have different types of data in it, and we can also have functions as well in this object. So we are going to talk more about objects in a separate video, as this deserves a separate video. So this was how we can create an object and display all the different data that is there in the object on the console window. Alright, so that's all about data types in JavaScript. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I will see you in the next one.